Hey everybody, welcome to a week 2 course review. I want to start off with the week 1 assignment, the written assignment for the 5-step problem solving process. There seems to be some confusion out there, so let's go ahead and review that first before I get started on week 2. So as you can see on the screen, it says week 1 assignment due in week 2. What that means is do not wait to start writing your assignment for week 2. Here's the deal. This assignment used to be due in week 1. You would have to start week 1, write your assignment, submit it to the OWL, get your OWL review done, update your final draft, and have it all submitted within 1 week. And a lot of students said that that was very intense for them and wasn't realistic. So what we did is we changed the assignment so that you start writing the assignment in week 1, and then you submit your rough draft by the end of week 1, which is Sunday. I'm recording this Sunday night, so tonight. And then the OWL has a chance to review it. They make their recommendations. When they make the recommendations, they will send you an email back with your submission form and your rough draft on how to, what recommendations they make to improve your paper. Then it's up to you to forward that email to me, forward it, not reply, forward it to me so that the attachments are still on the email and I have them for grading because that's part of the grading rubric. And I'll show you where to look for the rubric in just a second on that. So then you need to incorporate the changes. So that's week 1. Then in week 2, you incorporate the changes or the recommendations that the OWL made into your final draft. And then your final draft is due at the end of week 2, this week coming up. Okay, now your problem does not have to be healthcare related. It can be any personal problem you have in your life that you want to work on and apply the 5-step problem solving process to. If you're unfamiliar on how to find the OWL and how to submit your work to the OWL, there is a video that I posted twice in the announcement section. So find that video, view that. If you're still having problems, let me know and I can schedule a one-on-one Kaiser Live for you so that we can I can walk you through that. Same with APA. There are resources in the program resources section. If you scroll back up to the left-hand column, you'll see program resources. Click on that, and then you'll see the APA resources tab, and there's several different resources here to explain APA. They have the 6th edition. We're on a 7th edition. I'm not holding people to that very much, but because they just changed it this year, and they still have 6th edition as the reference. So I'm not real picky on that, but other instructors may be. So with that, I've added some videos in the Getting Started section on APA. And it talks about some of the changes in the 7th edition. It also has the basics of what an in-text citation is and what is plagiarism. Plagiarism is a big thing. This is when you're copying somebody's work, you're not citing it, you're not paraphrasing it, you're not doing anything. You're just taking it word for word, and that's plagiarism. That's a bad thing, and it will get you suspended from school. So watch that video and understand what plagiarism is. So that's the week 1 paper and what it's all about. So let's go ahead and get started with week 2. So for week 2, your reading assignment is not chapters 9, 10, and 11. For your discussion, the first discussion question talks about Chapter 10 discusses infection control and its importance. In your own words, what's the importance of infection control in the healthcare arena? List at least one way that you can help to break each element in the chain of infection. Now, I'm going to show you an illustration of the chain of infection in this video. I'm also going to discuss it in the Kaiser Live session, which, by the way, will be held on Wednesday instead of Tuesday this week due to the election, so that people can go out and get their vote cast if you haven't already done so early. And it's also within your reading. But the key thing here is that you identify each element or link within the chain of infection, as well as one way of breaking each link. So let me go ahead and show you the illustration. One moment. Okay, so here's the illustration of the chain of infection. So here you can see that your first link or element, and again this is in chapter 10, is the infectious agent. Then to the side, or out to the side of each link or element, are ways of breaking that individual link. So for infectious agent, one way to break it would be early recognition. Early recognition of signs of infection, rapid, accurate identification of organisms. Then you move on to the second link or element, which is the reservoir host. So the infectious agent, one way of breaking that link is early recognition of signs and rapid, accurate identification. Then you go to the reservoir host. Some of the ways of breaking the reservoir host is medical asepsis, and we'll talk about what asepsis is this week in the Kaiser Live, as well as in your reading. Standard precautions, employee health, environmental sanitation, and disinfection sterilization. The third element is portal of exit, and out to the side you have medical asepsis, personal protective equipment, hand washing, control of excretions and secretions, trash and waste disposal, and standard precautions. So the rest of the links and elements are the same way. To the side of each link there are several ways of breaking those. The one thing I will say is hand washing is a very important way of breaking the chain of infection. However, it's not the only way, as you can see by this illustration. So make sure that you're looking at that. All right, so the second response for the discussion is you want to review the most common types of healthcare hazards within Chapter 11 of your text. What does environmental safety mean? In all honesty, how do you think you might react to workplace violence, such as being cursed at or spoken to in a loud, demeaning manner? Do you feel that your reaction to the workplace violence is appropriate and professional? Any suggestions on how to properly respond to workplace violence? So in Chapter 11, they're going to talk about what environmental safety is, what workplace violence is. They're going to make some recommendations on how you should respond to it. So this question is asking, how do you feel that you would respond, and how should you respond? And maybe they're the same, maybe they're not, but answer that honestly. And I may still ask you questions about that in the discussion, but answer those honestly. And again, to meet the expectation, you need to post 4 separate posts on 3 separate days. To exceed the expectation, to get the full grade, you need to exceed it by producing 5 separate posts or more on 3 separate days. Again, it's to increase the discussion between you and your fellow students on the subjects being discussed. And your discussion questions should relate back to your reading to show me that you are understanding what you're reading and what the topic is, but it should also give me your personal outlook on it. The week 2 assignment is to go through and take it's similar to a quiz. You can take it as many times as you like until you get the score that you're happy with. But this is a precursor to our OSHA assignment, which will happen in week 3. So make sure that you're looking, or you take this assignment as many times as you like until you receive the score that you're happy with. Now, next week you will have to score a 70% or higher on the OSHA assignment. So it behooves you to do well on this because it gets you ready for the next one. You also have the week 2 quiz that's due. And here is where you will submit your week 1 written final draft. So you've submitted it to the OWL by Sunday evening. You've gotten you've received the recommendations from the OWL. You've incorporated them into your final draft. Your final draft is ready to go because now it has a separate title page. You've incorporated the recommendations. You've got the in-text citations, and your separate reference page is ready to go. So go up here. You click on this, and here's where you can see the rubric. If you want to go into it sooner, you can go in here, click on the rubric, and it will tell you how I'm going to grade. So I'm going to be looking, did you provide at least 250 words? Was it on a Word document? And then for the 5-step problem process, did you address each problem solving process independently? Do not number each one, just start a new paragraph for each step in the process and identify what step you're on and what you did to either gather information, create alternatives. What alternatives did you choose? Was it one? Was it a hybrid? Why? And how you plan on evaluating and revising your choice. Then spelling and grammar, again, I'm going to be looking for spelling and grammar, so you'll lose 1 point for each error there. So since you're writing it in a Word document, make sure you're doing a spelling and grammar check. Proof of OWL, this is where I'm going to look for that email that you sent me with everything, and I'm going to look to see that you did incorporate the recommendations from the OWL. That's the whole reason we do this exercise. This isn't either you got it or you didn't get it. So you either get the 5 points or you do not. APA guidelines, did you provide a separate title page? Did you have an in-text citation and a corresponding reference? At minimum, you should be referencing and citing the textbook because that's where you're getting the 5-step process from. Okay, so that goes over the rubric. And then to submit the paper, you just clicked into the upper left-hand corner. You go down, you've saved the paper to your computer. Remember where you saved it. If you saved it on your computer, you click here. If you saved it in the cloud storage, you click here. So you go into Browse My Computer, and let's see, Documents. See if I can find a Word document. Okay, so my instructor biography. I click on that. It attaches it, and you can see that it is attached because it came here. It popped up. If you attach the wrong document, hit Do Not Attach and go through that again. Then you scroll down and you click Submit in the bottom right-hand corner. And that's how you submit it. Then I will have it for grading and we will go from there. I'm not going to submit this because that's not what we're here for. And then there are some videos on OSHA. If you want to view them, they will help you through the assignments, both this week, week 2, and week 3. So you can look at those as well. And then extra credit. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Have a great week. And as always, keep that line of communication going. You guys have been pretty good about that, about letting me know what's going on, and I will help you with whatever. Have a great evening, day, morning, whatever time you're viewing this.